So hope you guys are doing well and utilizing your time in this lockdown period. And I'll say that all of you have been pretty lucky because you've got so much time to write your mains exam and NEET exam. Till now, no batch had got so much time after their board exams to prepare for mains and advance and NEET exam. And I'm pretty sure that most of you would have been utilizing this time very properly and trying to browse through internet, through different test series, through the institute test papers, study materials. All of you would have been studying or associated with one or more coaching centers. And I mean, any student will have plenty of study material, and generally what happens during the exam is that we have access to a lot of study material, lot of test series, and we are not able to decide what is the correct strategy, what should I do, how should I distribute the time, what are the areas on which I should focus. If let us say physics is my favorite subject, then how to convince myself to study chemistry or bio or maths, and how to make sure that I'm able to answer most of the questions, because at this time everyone feels that if he does something he can secure a very good rank in mains or NEET exam. And sometimes what happens in that desperation, you will see that we create one list key, okay, let us say we have to achieve this much, this is our target, and if on a daily basis you are not able to achieve that, you start feeling little frustrated. You start feeling frustrated with your institute, you start feeling frustrated with yourself, you start feeling frustrated with everyone around you, thinking that everyone is contributing negatively to your efforts. But if you will see, that is not the case. The thing is that we must have realistic expectations from ourselves, and the first thing which I will suggest is sit down with cool mind and think about it. What is it that you want to do? What is your present preparation level? Then the question arises, how to judge, how to find out what is my current preparation level. If you want to judge that, now you see NTA has released a lot of question papers, so you can attempt those tests. Those tests, I will say, it is at a level which is slightly below the actual level of mains and NEET exam. So if you are attempting those tests and if you are getting a particular percentage of marks, let us say if you are able to score around 50% of marks in those tests, then you should feel very confident that if you put little in bit more efforts in just recapitulating everything whatever you have learned for the last 2 years in the proper way, you can actually come out with very good result, and your rank will be very good, so that you will get a branch of your choice and maybe a college of your choice. So my suggestion is, at this point of time you should attempt those papers, see what is the percentage of marks you are able to get, because if you are able to get a score around 50 to 60% in that papers which has been released by NTA, in that Abhyas app is there, that means that you are actually aware of the basic formulas which are there in each of the chapter. You know what are the different quantities, what are the different basic formulas, what are the different basic definitions, what are the basic concepts, everything is there in your mind, and that is why you are able to score 50 to 60% of marks. But remember that in the actual exam and under actual exam pressure, that will translate, you can take a difference, and if you see the actual question paper standard for mains exam, if here you are able to get 50%, you can subtract 15%, so I'll say in actual mains you will get around 35%. So the thing is that once you are able to do that, once you are getting around 50-60% of marks, then my suggestion is concentrate on revising the synopsis, chapter wise synopsis. So wherever you are studying, some of you might be studying in Narayana, some of you might be studying in Chaitanya, Allen, Akash, or with private tutors. So all these institutes, national level institutes, they would have given you very nice study material where you will have chapter wise synopsis from each chapter. So my suggestion is go through that multiple number of times. Go through that multiple number of times. I am specifically right now let me talk about physics. So if you talk about physics, there are different units, like mechanics is there, electrostatics is there, optics is there, modern physics is there, heat and thermodynamics is there, current electricity is there, magnetism is there. So in all these chapters, you will have some synopsis with some good solved examples. So first you start with that. Try to learn the synopsis, then close the book. Again you try to write the synopsis without seeing the book and see how many points you are able to write from each of the chapter. If you are accurate up to 80%, that means your job is done and you are thorough with the formula, concepts, whatever is there in that particular chapter. And this is not necessary that you should do it from a particular place. Whatever notes you have acquired in the last 2 years, and wherever you are studying, every institute gives very good quality of notes. So I am not biased here with any institute. I am not telling that this institute notes is better and this is not good. Nothing like that. Everyone is having very good quality of notes, and you can see almost 80% of content also will be same in all those notes. Now the thing is, once you are done with the synopsis, there can be few problems which you can get in understanding some of the concepts. Like let us say there are few concepts from first year. Let's talk about vernier caliper or a screw gauge. So it would have been nearly almost 2 years that you actually did questions related to those topics. Then how to revise those topics again, how to understand that. So in that you can take help from your teachers, because right now most of the institutes are conducting some crash course also. So you can contact them, or the teachers with whom you have studied your whole +2 and you have done preparation for your engineering and medical entrances. You can take their help and try to understand these topics. So while studying synopsis, you will understand, okay, in this particular chapter, let us say if we talk about the first chapter, I did not understand screw gauge, I did not understand vernier caliper. Rest all things I am able to understand, so I'll be asking my teacher about these 2 topics. So accordingly, chapter wise, you can prepare a list of the topics which you again want someone to teach you, to coach you. Again, once let us say if you have done a particular chapter, after that you move on to previous year question of JEE Mains. If possible, you can take up JEE Advanced also questions and try to do it. So if you do those questions, you will be able to understand that whatever synopsis you have learned, whether you are able to apply it to solve the questions or not. And there also again, if the rate is around 80%, 90% or 70%, in that range, means it should come from inside. That confidence has to come from inside. No one can tell you that if you are getting this much, then you are perfect or pakka. After solving a particular topic, you will feel comfortable. Let us say if there are some few people, when you talk about rotational dynamics, they will say that if I am able to solve 40-50% of question from that chapter, I feel very happy and I am very confident about it. So it is always relative. And similarly, the same student, he might not be satisfied if he is able to solve 80% of question from kinematics, and he may want to solve or score more than 90% in kinematics. He is not satisfied at 80%, but when it comes to rotational dynamics, he is satisfied at 50% or 40%. So each one will have individual strength and weaknesses. So that is what I am telling you. When you are writing or preparing this list, you are actually trying to prepare list of your strengths and weaknesses. So once this exercise is done for each of the chapter, and I will tell you, don't forego the chapters. Now what happens in coaching institutes generally is they will concentrate on the topics like electrostatics, optics, Newton's laws of motion, rotational dynamics. So they consider these as heavy topics, and these topics they feel that they are very good for their marketing. From a teacher point of view also, I will tell you, I mean, if let us say I am talking about rotational dynamics question, I am explaining it, that wow factor will be generated. I feel that I am able to market myself in a much better way if I am just discussing a projectile motion ka question. But when you talk about mains exam or NEET exam, both the topics are equally important. Now let us say it takes 15 days of time to prepare rotational dynamics, and it takes 4 days of time to prepare kinematics. Now weightage wise, from both the chapter, let us say one question comes generally every year. So what do you think is better? Where should we concentrate more? Obviously that concentration should be more on kinematics part. So the topics like electromagnetic waves, modern physics, these topics generally people tend to ignore. Small topics are there, semiconductor devices. From these topics, the question that is asked in the mains and NEET exam, it is very much basic question and direct formula based questions. So it is very easy to actually solve those questions in the exam. So it's very easy to solve a question which has been asked from these topics rather than solving a question from electrostatics or mechanics in the actual exam. And you get the same credit for doing it. You get the same credit for doing it. So these are small topics which can be prepared in a very short duration of time. My suggestion is you guys can actually focus on preparing these topics. Similarly, you can see heat transfer, easy topic. Thermodynamics, considered as easy topic. So these questions can be done very easily, and you can score very good marks in your mains. Sometimes presence of common sense is also required while attempting good marks in your final exam. Now there are several questions. Let us say there can be a question which has been asked from simple harmonic motion, and if you are seeing that the options are different combination of some variables, so in that case, I mean, if you don't know how to solve that question, then probably you can proceed by dimensional analysis and try to get the answer. Because it's like, I'll tell you an example. Let us say if you are playing cricket, okay, and from front, let us say a very good quality bowler has come and he is throwing the ball, and it's like you hit it a very classical shot, and the ball goes to the boundary. You get 4 or 6 runs. Now imagine the same thing. There is a person who has come some 8th down. Means he's a bowler, he doesn't know how to bat properly, but he has just come on the field. So if the same bowler is coming and bowling it, and let us say he just touches the ball touches the edge of the bat and goes to the boundary behind the wicket keeper. In that case also he will get 4 runs. So even though in one case you will say, oh, what a classical shot, in other place you may not feel very good and happy about that shot played by the batsman who has come 8 down on the field. But what will happen? Both will get the same credit. So it does not matter in the exam that whether I am solving a SHM equation by following a proper method of solving a question related to simple harmonic motion. Even if I am able to get a correct answer by making use of dimensional analysis in that question, I will get equal credit for that. So there is nothing about ego. And this is what actually happens in the actual exam. So when you are writing the exam, at that time, let us say if you have prepared a topic very beautifully, So in that case, if you are solving a particular question and you get stuck somewhere, unfortunately, let us say you are stuck somewhere. So what will happen? You will feel, oh, I spent so much time on this. I have practiced almost every level. I have gone up to topmost level to solve the questions. Now, why the hell I am not able to solve this particular question? What is wrong? And you, instead of giving, let us say, 2 minutes or 3 minutes to that question, you end up giving some 6-7 minutes, and then finally you are frustrated and you leave that question. And this just disturbs the tempo with which you are writing that exam. This plays with your mental status during the exam. And you know that on an average you are having 1 hour to write each paper, right? 1 hour for physics, 1 hour for chemistry, 1 hour for maths. That's how it's distributed. And in that you have to do 25 questions in case of mains and 45 questions in case of NEET. So you can see the time availability is very less for you. So the thing is not to be, and sometimes it might happen that the first 3-4 questions which you are attempting in the exam, you are not able to get the answer. You don't know what is happening with you. So you should not think that that is the end of the exam. Be calm, be composed, move on to the next. See, at least there will be one question which you can hit. Wait, you start moving from first, move till 25th question. Whatever you are able to solve, solve it. It does not matter that one topic you have prepared it very well, question came from that and you are not able to understand what to do with that question. It does not matter at all. If you are not able to do, leave it. Move on to the next question. There is nothing like ego associated with a particular topic. And that is one of the reasons why most of the candidates, even though their preparation is very good, they are not able to perform well in the actual exam. It's because getting emotionally attached to something. Getting emotionally attached to a topic, emotionally attached to a question. And actually that's what happens in the share market also. I'll give you an example. If you will grow up and some of you, if you will go for trading in a stock market, or if you will ask someone who is doing it, they will tell that if you trade with emotions, most likely you are going to lose. Why? Because even though you know that you are losing something, but still your heart tells that no, at some point of time I'll be able to win this. So what happens then? We just keep on making the mistake. Even though we are realizing that it is a mistake we are doing, we should stop. But we don't. There is no stop loss. Same thing happens why most of the people who have prepared well for 2 years, they are not able to score good marks and get good rank in the actual exam. Because they don't know what is the stop loss they have to put, where they have to put the stop loss in the actual exam. And not only in the actual exam, during the preparation also, where you have to put the stop loss. If a particular topic you are doing, obviously you should know what is the level up to which you can comprehend that. I know my level. I mean I can lift a cat, I cannot lift an elephant, right? So I will not even try doing that. Why will I try doing that? If I am able to lift a cat, maybe in the next step I'll try to lift a dog. Right, but I know clearly, I know that I cannot lift an elephant and I will never try to do that. So here what happens is, applying the concept of stop loss is very important. Stop loss, what are you losing? You are losing your confidence, you are losing your time if you are not applying a stop loss in the actual exam. Therefore, my suggestion is, have 2 strategies. First one is preparation and second is on the day of the exam. So preparation wise, make a list, go through synopsis, whatever your institute has provided you, whatever your teacher has provided you, go through it clearly, make a list of whatever thing needs revision, get it revised. Second thing, on the day of the exam, put stop loss. If you are able to do that, it's all relative. You will definitely be able to come out with a very good rank in the actual exam. And from my side, I wish all the very best to all the students who are studying and preparing for their mains exam, NEET exam, and JEE advanced exam for 2020. Even though this year has not been very good for everyone, you can see the corona cases and a lot of other things which is disturbing everyone. I mean, the normal routine life has been disturbed. But even in the time of this adversity, we have to put ourselves together, because we have a purpose in our life which we have to fulfill. We have a vision, we have a dream which we have to achieve, and definitely we'll work towards it. And from my side, it's all the very best to everyone who is studying now, and may God bless you all. Thank you everyone. Thank you.